here I am. Yeah, back up at Suffolk Triumph. I know, it's a miserable wet all day, but look what I'm on. Yeah, I'm on the T120. Again, not my T120, a new T120. Yeah, black and silver and stuff, round clocks, Mickey Mouse mirrors. Anyway, let's get going. Got half a tank of petrol, don't want to be forever, it's absolutely terrible weather, but let me get that mode changed. Yeah, there we go, we're in rain mode. I want to see how it feels now going back, because everyone said to me, oh, the T120 is much better than the T100, what is wrong, you should have done this, you should have done that. Well, I'm going to find out, aren't I? Was it just my T120, or is it all T120s? And straight away, I've got to say, this seems pretty damn smooth. Yeah, I'm going to have to eat humble pie, aren't I? But, you know, I have no regrets. But would I be changing it back? Yeah, I'm just closing my visor a little bit, because it's cold and it's wet. Yeah. Story of a motorcyclist, isn't it, in winter, I'm afraid. Yeah, don't get too carried away. So at the moment, absolutely fine, but we'll do the rundown. 2 round clocks, perfect, as you know, just like the T100. Mickey Mouse mirrors, absolutely fine, but in black, not chrome. Again, perfect. All switch controls, dead simple, dead straightforward, no issue. And that lovely rumble of that extra 300 cc's. Yeah, and it is marvellous. I never said it wasn't, if anyone's thinking that I did. But what's it like going back to it compared to Betty, who I found pretty damn unruly, it's got to be said. Yeah, so there you go. I'm sort of hoping, sorry, excuse me, I'm sort of hoping that the camera's working as well. Yeah, they don't like getting wet, and this has been temperamental this last week, as you know. Yeah, so that's marvellous, isn't it? Little wind back and that extra torque, definitely there. It is a marvellous bike, I have no doubt at all. I don't know how many miles this little baby's done. My mate, two-wheel vintage in America, he has a T120, marvellous, and he was on about self-cancelling indicators, and he's right, they are lifesavers if you forget. And we all forget sometime, don't we? Of course, I don't think this has got them, no. I think you have to push that little pointy button, and it is a pointy button. And I remember watching a review where someone said, the pointy button, it makes your thumb hurt after a while. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It might have even been Uncle Stu, I don't know. He doesn't go out on his T120 anymore, does he? At least I've not seen him. Yeah, but there you go. Right, so here we are. Not really going fast enough to consider the brakes. They're just absolutely fine. Yeah, and I'm not going to use the word sublime, because I got told off and said I needed to try more high caliber bikes. Yeah, I know. But here we go. Round onto the dual carriageway, and we'll see how it goes. So there, the traction control obviously worked, and my God, it does have more pull. Yeah. I can't say anything about that, can I? But I know that. The question is whether you actually need it. I haven't got my mirrors set up quite right, but I can move my elbow and see behind. Like I say, it's quite wet and windy. I'll occasionally give you a wipe. So if you see my finger come into shot, I apologise for that. What the hell is going on here with this? Look at that. That's a bit odd, isn't it? Tower bus. Marvellous. Anyway, we'll get into this lane. One good thing about the GoPro 10 over this GoPro 7 is the water just seems to run off it. Yeah. But no, this so far, this does not seem lurchy at all. Does not seem lurchy. But we'll see. It is largely when you're in amongst traffic and you're up and down the gears and so forth. But there it pulls well, nice and smooth, even though I'm perhaps in the higher gear third. But I suppose that's not too high, is it? But no, it's quite smooth. Handling seems fine. I mean, I did try the 1200 speed twin as well, and that was better, but it wasn't that smooth, I've got to be honest. You know, I am being a bit nitpicky. What did work well was the 1200 Thruxton that I rode. Yeah, that was smooth as silk. But the guy there said to me, put it into sport mode, it'll smooth it out. He says everyone puts it in terrain mode, but he says that's not it, put it into sport, and I did, and it was smooth as silk. But we're in rain mode, and this is absolutely fine at the moment. Yeah. But we're onto the Washboard road, because of course the other thing wasn't just the throttle and the lurching, it was the suspension. It didn't handle that fantastic, I didn't think. But here we go. I don't know if you can see it in the rain. It is literally like a washboard all the way down here. But the suspension seems to be working pretty damn good. Yeah, there's no sort of real vibrato to my voice, is there? I don't know. I'll have to wait till I play it back. Doesn't feel too bad. But there we go. That's the Washboard road over and done. And now we're heading towards the Suffolk Road test. Yeah, so that's the Washboard road test done. And again, it's not lurching. That's the sort of place it would lurch, where you're low on the revs, sort of stuck in a higher gear. If you go into the low gear, it'd be too much and you'd be jolted anyway, because do you know what I mean? Anyway, if you don't, it doesn't matter. I might be talking a load of baloney, who can tell? So we'll get down here. I'll give you another little wipe. Yeah, deer for 2 mile. I hadn't included those in the Suffolk Road warnings, had I, previously? Forgot about that, but apparently 2 miles for deers. But of course down here we've got mud, we've got small children, big people, bicycles, cars, and we have had balloons, party balloons, mattresses, kitchen sink and a door is all things that I've seen down here. We've got obviously lots of mud, lots of water, lots of potholes, and you've got to go a little bit steady, especially in these conditions, because even with your ABS, I should imagine you could get into trouble, especially if you meet lunatics coming the other way. But it seems to be doing a pretty decent job. Yeah, so anyway, so we'll pull over here and we'll have another little walk round. We've all seen a T120, but no harm in having another look. Yeah, we can also have a look, see if there's any boats out sailing, can't we? No, there's not, surprisingly. Let's have a look. Get that side stand down. There we go. No, not a boat. Oh yeah, no, there is. A couple of boats down there. Marvellous, isn't it? Yeah. Vandabidozi. Anyway, let's have a look, and then we'll change the camera. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking bike, isn't it? No doubt about it. So, here we are. Yeah. Triumph Bonneville T120 black. The new version of Betty, the one I had. A marvellous looking bike, can't argue with that. Let's start at the front. Twin discs at the front, twin Brembos, marvellous, yeah. Needed perhaps as well with that little bit of extra weight from that 1200 engine. High torque, marvellous. This is smooth as silk compared to Betty. Don't know why at all. Obviously it's got more weight, which affects the suspension, and I think you probably just got the same suspension as the T100, but this bike definitely seems better. It's got the brown seat, marvellous. I like brown. Triumph embossed on the back, and that view, Mickey Mouse mirrors, the clocks, the lot. This has got the matte paint on top, and I think that silver's matte. Can't tell because it's so rainy. It's a bit dirty, I'm afraid. Yeah, so, sorry Suffolk Triumph. I can't do nothing about it. It's raining. Yeah. Single disc at the back. What can I say? Have I made a mistake in changing to the T100? I don't think I have. I love Buddy, the T100, and I'd have another one. Would I have another T120? If they could guarantee that it'd go like this one, yeah, I probably would. I've not finished the ride yet, and we'll find out when we go through the 30-mile-an-hour limits whether it is jerky, whether it is tiring up and down all the time and just too much for the slow roads. I don't know. We'll find out. But there you go. Triumph Bonneville T120 black, and it's not just black though, is it? It's grey. I don't know what they're thinking, but there you go. Marvellous. Right, here we are, back on board. Got the senses test to do. Yeah. Do I feel any differently on this one to what I did on Betty or the T100? Don't know. Let's have a look. Ding. We're off. Let's have a little look. Yeah, 1,100 miles. Trip. Oh, yeah, whatever. Trip to. And the thing that always annoyed me about this, no, it stayed in rain. Look, on mine it used to go back to road and I used to have to push it again to set off, so if I went to the petrol station. But there you go, that's an improvement. Into gear, and we're off onto the bumpy road and the senses test. Well, before we even get anywhere, and notice that smooth as anything. That's marvellous, isn't it? Not lurching even, and this is the sort of conditions it would lurch. What was I going to say? Yeah, oh, we'll get straight on to taste. I'm not tasting it, you know that. Apart from taste, we've got touch. It's lovely, yeah, even in this matte paint, yeah. Everything just feels smooth and shiny. Yeah, it's lovely to touch. Then hook cart, yeah, smooth on the throttle there. Sorry, distracted, because that's exactly it, is getting back on the throttle. If you've got to slow down a little bit, especially in this second gear, it was pretty lumpy. Anyway, what we're doing, the senses test. What have we done? Taste. To look at, it's splendiferous, you know that. It's the Triumph Bonneville, and yeah, like Bart says, it's not identical to a 1960s Bonneville, but it's pretty similar in looks. Look at this, all leaves and wet and rain. This is really terrible conditions. Oh, what's this bird doing? Yeah, don't run in front of me, whatever you do, Jesus. Yeah, taste, touch, to look at. Well, yeah. Smell. Well, it's a cold, wet day today, and it smells pretty decent. Warm engine. Can't beat it, can you? No. And finally, the sound. It is magnificent. I love the sound of it, and I like the deeper note that it has to the T100. The T100 does me though, you know. I've not there's nothing wrong with the sound of the T100, but this just has a little bit more rasp to it, a little bit more throat, and a little bit more of a burble. I don't think I've made a mistake in changing to the T100, because Betty was definitely unruly, and I still think the T100 is a little bit smoother, a bit more slick than this, but this is quite removed from what Betty was. Yeah, that's what I'd say. And so I guess we're on to the sixth sense. How does it make me feel? Well, it makes me feel like all the Bonnevilles do. You know, could I have put up with Betty? Yeah, I could. Am I giving this one the same sort of trial that Betty had? No, I'm not, to be honest. I did ride Betty quite a bit quicker, yeah, but then I wasn't out on a wet leafy lanes. Well, I was sometimes, but this is only a quick trial just to see, and it is smoother than Betty. Yeah. Does it make me feel the same as the T100? Yeah, it does. It's splendiferous. Yeah, I've said it. It is splendiferous. But you know, Betty wasn't not. Yeah, if that Mrs. Tame had picked me up on that, I'm sure. The more power, I don't need it. Is it fun? Yes, it is. It's hilarious. It really is. Let's just wait for the traffic. Yeah, that pull, I mean, that is magnificent. But you know, Buddy, it's no slouch. He isn't. If you keep those revs up there, he's off like Billy-O. So there you go. Yeah, brakes, everything like that. It is a heavier bike, you know. I've just put my visor down a bit because it's a bit parky and it's a bit wet. In fact, I haven't given you a wipe for a while, have I? So as soon as we get moving again, I'll give you a little wipe. Oh, come on, get your finger out. Right, I'll give you a little wipe now. There you go. Hopefully you're alright. Hopefully the camera's working. But what's this car doing? It's in the fast lane going slow. There we go. We're cut loose and we're cruising, yeah, cruising at 70 miles an hour, dead easy. But what I did find, if you go much faster than this on a windy day into a headwind, yeah, your neck aches. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that top end speed is much different. Yeah, I'll give it that extra 300 cc's, that extra brake horsepower doesn't have to make a difference. But again, you can't go around riding using that, can you? No. But what a marvellous bike, Rozzers. Smooth as silk. Yeah, no lurching or jerking. But yeah, what a marvellous trip out on the T120. And it's nice to know that it's a good bike. I never doubted that it was, and I always suspected that my T120 was a bit of a rogue, and I still think that. But there you go. So that's about it really. So I'll probably see you when we get back to Suffolk Triumph, who I'm very grateful for them letting me out on such a miserable day on it. Yeah. Thankfully we haven't had the rain that I had on my way over here. Marvellous. Oh, that rumble of that engine when you're going slow, you can't mistake it, can you? No. So one final check. Now we're into the 30. Is it lurchy? No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm in third, and that's just fine and smooth and easy. No lurching. Throttle's easy to keep there on the revs. And what I'll try and do, I've got a car behind, I'll try and go down into second to see if it's worse in second, and no, it's not. It's smooth, even though when I roll off the throttle, no, it's all manageable without getting any jerks. Yeah, there you go. And I'll tell you something, when I get back in here, I think if it's the same as Betty, I think you probably know what I'm going to say. Let's have a look. straight into neutral, gearbox smooth as silk, clutch no trouble at all. Let's have a look. Engine off, and we'll just have a look. No! Do you know what they've done? My T120 came with a centre stand. This one hasn't. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Marvellous. Never mind. Par for the course. Suffolk Triumph, thank you very much. Triumph Bonneville T120 black. Splendiferous. Yeah.